Hello, and welcome to another Common Sense Linux video. After I made the videos showing the installation process for various distros, I started thinking that I hadn't explained well enough how to identify the various drives on a computer while installing the distros. Instead of repeating the material in this video 4 times, once for each of the distros I covered, I decided to create a separate video. So, I borrowed a laptop manufactured in January of 25. The equipment I have is from the teens or earlier, all with Linux or FreeBSD installed, running Windows 11, and captured a video of LMDE Live USB running on it. This video will show things somewhat differently from the installation videos I made when I was installing the distros to VirtualBox machines. Sometimes folks are afraid of using the terminal, or, as it's known in Windows, the command prompt. In Windows, nearly everything is done through a GUI, a graphical user interface, and some people may have never used the command prompt in Windows. About the only time someone may have used it in Windows is when they have copied and pasted some command they found on the internet to counteract an undesired function in Windows. Whether it's my obsessive nature commanding me to know what's going on, or the simplicity of using commands in the terminal, I'm not sure what has led me to abandon many GUI features over my 25 years involvement with Linux. And using the terminal every once in a while is nothing to be afraid of. Although it can get you into trouble if you blindly copy and paste things you find on the internet, such as the command to delete everything, which, by the way, really does exist. In most cases, using the terminal will not result in anything untoward, especially simple commands to look at the state of things. And I will be using one of those commands in this video. The LMD Live USB has been loaded on the Windows 11 computer. I'll open the terminal and type lsblk and hit enter. The program will then list all the drives attached to the computer: SDA, loop, MMCBLK. SDA is plainly split into 2 partitions, SDA1 and SDA2, and they are labeled as live media and as live persistence, with a total of 15 gigabytes. SDA is therefore the live USB. MMCBLK is shown as having 5 parts, listed as part 1 through part 5. It has a capacity of 117 gigabytes total. It also shows MMC BLK 0, boot 0, and boot 1, each 4 megabytes. Since these are the only 2 drives LSBLK has found, the MMC BLK must be the Windows drive. Your LSBLK may display different names. Maybe it'll show 2 SDX entries. Maybe it'll show an SDA for the live and NMVE for the Windows. It depends on what type of internal drive Windows is on. I'll close the terminal for right now and insert a removable drive into the computer. You'll notice that LMDE has put an icon on the desktop and automatically mounts it and opens the files display. The drive is empty, so I'll close the Files display. I'll run LSBLK again, and as you can see, LSBLK now shows SDA, MMCBLK, and SDB, which is for the new drive that has been plugged in. Since I know that SDA is the live USB, because it's labeled that way, and that SDB did not show up until I plugged it in, that MMCBLK must be the Windows drive. I'll eject the 16 gigabyte drive. I'll clear the terminal screen and run LSBLK again. Once again, since SDA is labeled as live, it is confirmed that MMBLK must be the Windows drive. You can also use this information to identify an external or even an internal drive if you're not going to install Linux to the Windows drive. If you have the external or internal drive attached, just as I inserted the 16 gigabyte drive in the video, it will show up in LSBLK. When you proceed with the installation, just be sure to avoid the Windows drive if you don't want to overwrite it and you want to install to another drive, whether it's external or internal. In the case of this screenshot, we know that the SDA drive is the live USB and have established that MMCBLK is the Windows drive. So, if you're installing to yet another drive, SDB would be the correct choice. In this case, yours might be different. Hopefully, this video has made more clear how to choose the drive to install Linux to. If I've left something out or could have explained something better, let me know in the comments. That's all for now. See you in the next video.